Support mains are players who are shit at aiming. Playing tanks is easy, all you have to do is take damage. Obviously, playing DPS is the most difficult role. But is it really? Hey, what's up guys, Cliff here once again and welcome back to Overwatch. Today I would like to discuss which role in Overwatch is the most difficult to play, so let's get right into it. I feel like players are having this discussion ever since the early beta phases of Overwatch, especially DPS mains like to dismiss other assets of their team because, hey, it's them getting the play of the game, it's them getting the most important gold medals, it's the DPS players who always get praise for their amazing plays. What they like to forget is that everyone in their team sets the stage for them being able to make those plays, and every role in the game has its own set of skills required to be good at them. But obviously, if that set of skill does not require aiming for the head, it does not matter. So why don't we kick things off talking about what kinds of skill sets are required to be good at other roles in DPS? Well, Overwatch in its nature with its diverse character cast almost requires an entirely different set of skills for each hero, so let's dive into the support heroes first, since that's where I've been feeling most at home and most effective as of recently. While throwing Ana right into the start, we can already kill the notion of supports not needing any aim or being incapable of aiming. As a support sniper, you definitely need some good aim on Ana. In my opinion, she's one of the most difficult characters to master in the game with her extremely diverse kit. Being able to sleep dart targets is very strong but requires some good prediction and tracking skills to land it. Obviously, good aim is mandatory for a sniper, period, but an Ana player also has to make a lot of decisions throughout the match. Not only deciding who to give her nano boost to in each given situation, but also when to use her biotic grenade defensively or offensively. Deciding when to heal teammates or when to prioritize focusing damage on key assets of the enemy composition, Ana is a hero about decisions over decisions. Zenyatta is not short of making decisions either, but also a hero that requires a lot of communication to be effective. Deciding which heroes to discord and calling out said target, deciding whether you want to keep the discord on the target you just called out so your DPS can burn through them, or if you quickly want to swap to another hero that pressures you in particular, is yet another decision to make. While focusing so much on DPSing, you also can't neglect healing your teammates and doing so in time, since your healing isn't the most effective. As Mercy, you need to stay mobile and hard to hit in order to heal your teammates effectively and damage boost if need be, but still know when to hide for the big play of the game, mass revive. I gotta be honest, I've never been good at Mercy, she's just too much of a passive character for my taste, so I can't tell how much goes into actually mastering and being really good at Mercy. And as for Lucio, I hope I don't step on anyone's toes, but I feel like anyone could play Lucio one-handed. He's probably the most simple support in the entire game, doesn't require a lot of aim, and is probably the bigger reason why supports have such a bad reputation. However, even for Lucio, there's some finesse that goes into his gameplay. Timing your ultimate properly, knowing when to speed boost your teammates to quickly engage or disengage, saving teammates from nasty ultimates like D.Va, Self-Destruct or Mace Blizzard. The bottom line for supports is that support players are the ones who have a clear overview of the entire battlefield. Zenyatta in particular is a great shot caller with his Discord orb while staying in the back end, again seeing everything that's going on. DPS players like to complain quickly about what is going wrong and what has to change, but the reality is that support players are probably the ones who are more suited for calling swaps and knowing what exactly went wrong. The reason for that is usually DPS players only focus on enemies that took them out. You hear, oh my god, somebody killed this Pharah, why does nobody focus the Tracer, and so on. While the support in the back saw that the only reason those particular heroes are a thorn in their sights is because other enemies have disrupted the rest of the team that could have otherwise helped. The amount of situational awareness coming from support players is often disregarded for no reason at all. Now let's move on to tanks. Honest to truth, the only tank I'm good with is Zarya, maybe because she has a lot of a support tank with her shields, but I can't find myself playing any other tank hero effectively in a competitive environment. What I do know, however, is that playing Reinhardt isn't as easy as it looks. You might think, yeah sure, just hold up your shield and be done with it. However, a purely passive Reinhardt is not a very effective Reinhardt. I've said during the Overwatch tournament at Gamescom, if you play Reinhardt and your dives connect, you are the hero of your team. If they don't, you're the worst player. There's a lot of risk-reward going on with Reinhardt, as his charge can one-shot most heroes in the game with a successful pin. A Zarya-supported dive coming from a Reinhardt can easily disrupt the enemy's setup and open a window for DPS players to take out key assets of the enemy team. In some way, Roadhog is similar. He might not dive into the enemies, but his ability to hook and one-shot most characters in the game quickly turns a teamfight into your team's advantage. The problem with Roadhog is that he's a giant ultimate sponge. Sure, your supports might get their ults off quickly as well, but as Roadhog, you are a huge target that can easily be bursted down, so if you miss your hooks, you're doing more harm than good for your team, making this hero entirely based on risk-reward. I don't think we need any discussion on Zarya. She's an insanely powerful hero in the right hands. Timing your own shields and shields for your teammates properly is part of her skill ceiling. Tracking enemies with your left click isn't always easy, but can do a lot of damage, and communicating when to use your ultimate can win teamfights. I don't think anyone would argue against the fact that playing Zarya requires a lot of skill. And Winston, well, Winston is a team player in the truest meaning of the word. I would argue that he is quite a useless hero if not supported properly, but a very strong one in a decent comp. Winston diving into the enemies supported by a Zarya shield can not only allow your team to move in while the enemies are being disrupted, but causing carnage and maybe even taking out supports is a very strong point for Winston. While aim might not be important at all with his Tesla cannon, situational awareness sure is. Knowing when to dive and when to disengage, which targets to chase down, when to pop your ultimate, and who to focus on, not to mention his combo potential for ultimates, such as dropping a shield on your McCree who's pulling a Deadeye and then diving into the enemy so they can't focus set McCree. Playing Winston sure isn't easy, it requires a good bit of awareness and a lot of trust for your team. Now, I don't want to go through every single hero in the roster. The point I'm trying to make with this video is that every hero requires their own skill set to be effective with them, and while you may think that DPS is the most important role, Overwatch is about allowing each other to make great plays. Whether that be knocking enemies down as Reinhardt so McCree can pull off a Deadeye, Zarya grabbing enemies for Reaper to Death Blossom, or Ana nano boosting a Genji so he can slice through the entire enemy team. Supports keep tanks alive so they can take damage for their team. Tanks take damage so that DPS heroes can align their shots and try to kill the enemies. If the tanks fall, DPS players have no protection. If the supports fall, the rest of the team will only last for so long. While not every single hero requires perfect aim to be effective, they still have their own level of mastery, and that shouldn't be disregarded. You'll never know what it truly takes to be a great hero until you've played them excessively yourself. So let's try not to focus so much on who's the most important, but work together towards a common goal: kicking the red team in the goddamn face. But this is me now for today. Do feel free to drop me a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys next time. The thing is, the reason I love playing Overwatch is because how satisfying it feels to actually like pull off great things, like pulling off some sick wombo combos that go beyond just Zarya ultimate and just any other ultimate, or like the team effort of actually playing well together. I just really like it. I often feel like I worked hard for my victories, and that just feels very satisfying.